So the first question I have is, there's been like a lot of rumors swirling around about masks coming off. Do you have any Roundup exclusive updates you can give us on that?
Sure. And you mean coming off more than just falling down off your face?
Yes,
your nose
sir.
is exposed. Okay,
Yes, sir.
just want to make clear about that. Yeah, I mean, we've been, since we started this whole COVID process, the goal for us has been to keep you guys safe and also the staff and the faculty, obviously. But, you guys have been number one, that we want to make sure that you guys stay healthy and then at the same time trying to balance that with as much normality in terms of the Jesuit experience as possible. I know we've always had to, we've been tweaking it steadily since we started this whole COVID journey together. But our goal is to try to give you, your regular Jesuit formation in the best way possible, but to do it under the confines of making sure it's safe and healthy for you guys. So as far as masks coming off, we have two physicians that we've relied on a lot, Dr. Bob Hendler, who's an alum, and Dr. Michael Toe, who's an alum, and they've been our the two main guys that we've used for getting advice on how to navigate this. And they were Dr. Hendler was the guy who was the first guy that I talked to about putting in the MERV 13 filters and the bipolar ionizers and how we did the sanitation and what we did. And I think it worked out really well for us because the proof is that we've been able to have school successfully. A very low rate of infection and really very, very, very few infections on campus. And this year even less than that. I mean, it's been a handful, nothing internal in our community inside the school building. So I think things have worked out real well. But we're moving to, I know a lot of the Dawsonson schools, the high schools moved at having masks out starting on the 11th, I guess it was. And we're looking at, getting that done, pretty quickly for next week for you guys.
Yes, sir. And then you spoke about the air filters. What was that process like of going through implementing all that in such a short period of time?
Well, it just meant, taking the resources and making sure that we were able to get the filters to begin with and then putting them in terms of the entire air handlers for every single building on campus. And same thing with the ionizer. So we're fortunate that we have such a great maintenance staff that was able to, go to it and get it done. Mr. Vardell, who's the head of maintenance, is a phenomenal electrician, and he was able to put all that stuff into place for us, so it worked out really well. And again, I say that the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, because it's really kept any kind of infection from spreading on campus.
Sure.
What will the school be seeing as we steadily head back to normal?
Everybody's face. Is that what the answer you'd like to hear, Max?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Hopefully everybody's face, so you can tell when I'm laughing or not laughing or whatever. From looking mean, you can't tell with the mask on necessarily. I mean, so the idea, we're still going to be looking at things that, because a couple ways of looking at this. I don't want to, just because we're being successful right now and we're going to take our masks off, we should be successful as well. I don't want to go into a point where we're going to have a problem again. So the idea is that, we're still going to be looking at, prayer services and masses to be separate, half and half, or have two go on simultaneously. We're looking at some of our big dances where we have, 800-900 people together that we would, do some of the stuff outside and spread it out. And I think we can be successful by doing that and still, keep the program as normal as possible. It's like community days. Senior community days is great when we can go off campus for 3 days and take the guys and do that. The biggest challenge we had was that the only place we have to have cabins that are small. The ventilation is marginal because you've been in a cabin before. They're not great at that kind of stuff. So how do you put a couple faculty members and 20 seniors into a cabin together and not expect to get infected? Not a good way to do that. So we had to do it on campus again this year. But we'll be looking at everything that we do. How do we keep it safe? How do we keep it healthy for everybody? But also, how do we get back to normal as much as possible? And by normal meaning, no restrictions at all in terms of size or gathering and that kind of thing. And I know we're working also with Ursuline to make sure, because we've been fortunate. When I asked you guys to strongly encourage vaccinations, we're a little bit over 80%, I think, at this point in terms of vaccinating our student body. I don't think Ursuline's close to that yet. I think they're in the 50% yet. So we're trying to work with them, too, to make sure that it's not a situation where, you have a girlfriend and that can affect you as well. So anyway, I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Okay.
I guess a big thing coming up is Ranger Day.
Mm-hmm.
How will that work with it being outside this year? What new activities that would be unique to the?
Well, Powder Puff will be here again,
Yeah.
And we'll have all the Ranger Day activities outside. The only difference is that, with the packing the gym with 12, 1,300 people plus is probably not a good idea at this point. So we're going to do that activity outside in the stadium. Is it as much fun as the whole gym packed with everybody? Obviously not, okay? But it can still be great, and it will be great. And, I'd rather have something that we can do that's safe and healthy and really lowers the risk than do something that may be a little bit more fun but going to be higher risk for us at this point. And we'll see. I mean, next semester we'll have to see how things go. I'm hoping that nothing's going to happen with COVID. It's going to, the rates are going to keep dropping, and eventually we'll be back to, in the city of Dallas and our Metroplex, being back to normal again. I don't know if you've experienced it, but you go to Lowe's and 50% of the people have masks on, even though it says to have a mask on, and 50% of people are just walking around like nothing. So
yeah, I think it's kind of like you walk like a block, and it just feels like it's like a completely different time.
Oh yeah,
Like
I mean, so then and I think there's something to be said for a little bit of mask fatigue, COVID fatigue as well. People want to get on going to movies and doing things together and I certainly understand that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you can go ahead and ask this question. We had another writer who's going to ask this later here. So.
What major projects are planned for the coming school years?
Well, right now, the next project on the docket that you guys would be impacted by would be the, the Willow Lane South Campus. And so we finished the Anderson parking lot. And so the next project on that will be a 26,000 square foot athletic support building, 2 stories. And so that'll house some of the sports that are currently like lacrosse will have their own place. Cycling will go from being under the stairwell to their own place. So we're going to start on that project, and we're hoping to start at the beginning of the next semester. So we're already in plans. We're in design drawing, and we know what we want to do. We're finishing up the design drawing of that to add all the things we want to have into that, and then we'll get the permission from the city to build it. So we got tentative permission, but we'll have to get the final permission from the city. They said we could do it. They said we can build it, the size we're going to build it, the height we're going to build it, where we're going to build it, but the actual design has to get approved as well, and so we're working on that as we speak. We got our architects working on that. So I'm excited about that because that'll be a great boon for the guys who have those sports, and it'll be down in that area. They'll have their own place. And then also the 2 practice fields will be put in. So instead of I know the cycling team has built a sort of a course in that right now, and that's great. But eventually that'll be turfed fields, 2 turf practice fields for you guys. So for sports that have to do it early in the morning or late at night, they'll be able to practice that at a more reasonable time.
How do you think the current school year has been beyond COVID?
Wonderful. I think the guys are really, overall, I think you guys have done a marvelous job of being responsive to what we've been doing in terms of wearing the mask and doing the distancing and that kind of thing. I think you guys, I'm counting on you guys also to be sensitive. So if I'm a guy that's immunocompromised, I would expect that, if I say to you, hey guys, I have this problem, illness / whatever, could you wear a mask if you're going to be real close to me? I think you guys will respond to that well. I don't see you guys not responding well to that. You guys always rise to the occasion. I think you guys have been very flexible in terms of what comes on with the program. I know sometimes people are disappointed because it's not exactly. We laugh at Jesuit. We do something once and it's tradition, I include myself in that too. It's like, oh, we did it last year. It's tradition. Yay, let's go do it. But we have to be flexible because our goal has been obviously to get you guys successfully through the formation program at Jesuit, to go on to college, to be able to listen where God is calling you to go, realize your dreams and make a positive difference in the world. And I think you guys have done a good job of doing that, even though it's been challenging for everybody. Everything's been a little different. If you were at college night, I know you freshmen might not have been there, but college night was different than usual. We still had 100 plus different schools here, but some of the schools didn't travel, and there's nothing we can do about that. But if you're interested in that, I'm sure Mr. Shoemaker or Mr. Fitzsimmons can give you good counseling on a school that didn't come, and so you still get a view of what that's like. But our goal is to try to keep you guys, moving forward and having a great Jesuit experience. So, I'm excited about that. I mentioned a little bit about, the building in the athletic support building, but we have other projects that we're looking at as well, and you guys have seen what we've done with, I know you guys don't notice it, but the cafeteria's had a major renovation over the last couple of years. Having the parking lot, the Anderson lot's been a big boon for what we've been doing. The theater will be dedicating the theater coming up in early part of November, and having that outdoor meeting area and the new theater, pretty cool. I mean, it really has come alive for us. And so I know that the guys who do theater here at Jesuit are really looking forward to using that facility. I guess what Mice and Men is the first production coming up. So I'm excited about that. So I think there's a lot of great things coming up. We still got a couple other projects on the main campus that we'll be doing. We'll be doing some work in the courtyard area outside Xavier Mall that I'm excited about. That'll make it certainly a lot user-friendly in terms of being able... it's one of the unexpected... sort of fits in what you're asking me. One of the unexpected positive parts of COVID is that, I've always been a real push to see if we get more picnic table kind of things outside. And everybody said, Mr. Ursing, it's too hot. Ursing, be quiet. It's sun's blazing on us. We can't go outside and eat. Well, I think you guys have proven it's sort of fun to go outside and eat. And you can do it in the shade, and it works out really well. So we've really upped the number of tables outside for guys to eat. I've always been a little bit jealous because you go to Strake and they have a lot of outside areas. You go to Tampa, same thing. And we've never been able to do it because we think it's too hot here, or too cold. And obviously, when there's 2 feet of snow, we're not going to be going outside to eat. Hopefully, we're not going to get to that point this year. But I think having the ability to go outside and have lunch or breakfast is really a great community builder for us, and that's worked out really well. So that'll be enhanced by the Plaza project that we're working on too. So a lot of good stuff.
Okay, you ready for the last question?
And one final question. And this is a very important question to me. Do you have a favorite dad joke?
I don't have a favorite dad joke, but I've provided Mr. Duras with 2 books on dad jokes. So he's loaded with dad jokes for you guys in the hallway. Also, I appreciate the work that your moderator does in getting this out. And so, not a dad joke, but he's always there with fatherly advice, so that's always good for us. And he's sitting in the corner.
He's a joke.
No, I would never do that. I'm not a joke. Are you? So, what's your favorite dad joke?
I don't really have a lot of dad jokes. I like puns a lot.
So, what's your favorite pun?
It's mostly on the spot stuff. If I had,
He's waffling now. Do you notice that? Yeah. See.
If I had to give her a really good joke, I wouldn't call it really good. But what do you call a cow with no legs?
I don't know.
Ground beef.
I like that. Good joke. Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Duras has both of my books on jokes, dad jokes. So please refer to him for the best dad jokes. So.
For sure.
Guys, thank you guys for the work that you do with this. Really do appreciate it. I think you do a fine job in what we do. I'm very proud of our publications. And I think you guys do a very balanced job of doing it. And it's not like, trying to get out there and, I don't want to malign any paper, but you're not trying to say, Dr. Deacon gives out too many D's, stuff like that.
That's fake.
That's fake news.
Definitely.
Well, and probably
Dr. Deacon gives out too many A's. Now
that would be then I would know that's fake
that's
news. Yeah, that's fake news. Do we believe that? No.
Gosh.
It's fun stuff.
That's a good April Fool's piece.
Oh, hey, you could say that, President Ursing calls to question the number of A's Dr. Deacon's giving on his classes. Says, vast grade inflation. Pushover class. Vast
Deacon
grade.
is the center of grade inflation.
Yeah, the center of grade inflation. Other Jesuit schools are complaining that, we could do, that'd be fun. That actually would be fun to do. We could have some fun with that. But thank you guys very much.
Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, really. Thank you guys very much.
Very much.
May I